Okay, I did a prelude to terror video earlier on. I thought from what they'd said it was going to be committed by somebody returning, a fighter returning from the Middle East. That's not the case with this, although that's still obviously on the cards. And the timing, I thought it would have been a bit earlier, but look, they just waited till school holidays were over and the kids are back at school, everyone's back at work, everyone's into their routine, and the media airways are clear. Now, as far as the scale of this little terror incident goes, it's quite minor. It's not on the scale of Burke, although Burke was not officially a terror event. They keep introducing terror laws, so it's a pseudo-terror event. And Minto, that was a terror event, according to a current affair, and God, there's not that many when you go through it. But they like to keep terror at the forefront of people's minds. You can't let people start to forget about terror. It's got to keep chipping away there. I'll do a video on that. But this has all the key ingredients. It's got the interviews with no witnesses this time, but certainly interviews with the public. They've got a few messages to give. And look, it's got all the hallmarks. It ticks all the boxes. So let's get into it.
Home cordoned off and a blood-stained chair, the grim evidence of what police allege was an attack inspired by Islamic State.
And right off the bat, we got 3 boxes ticked straight away. The blood-stained chair, bit scary to look at that. ISIS inspired. And now we're about to launch into one of the, not a witness, but just someone, a member from the public that can give the message that they need to give. Now, I don't think these guys are always paid. I think they just go to the locals and go, oh, listen, do you want to go on telly? Oh, not really. I will write the script. Yeah, you'll see yourself. They go, okay, so just read the script. You'll be right. It could be like that, or they could be paid. But either way, yeah, he's just there to read the message that he's been given to say. And they cut to him a little bit early. He's still reading the script off to the side there. That's generally where they put it. It's where it was for Socrates and for this guy as well. So let's listen to him.
It is a bit scary. Yeah, definitely scary.
I don't know why he needed to read a prompter for that. I mean, it was a pretty simple thing to remember. But anyway, that's what he did. And so we got scary. Yep, okay, good.
At 4:25 yesterday afternoon, the 56-year-old nurse was asleep inside his Mill Park home with his 5-year-old daughter.
Okay, so this has happened at his home, and he's asleep at 4:25 in the afternoon. You know, he's having an afternoon nap. Don't give any more details on the sleep, but he's asleep, and his 5-year-old daughter's there as well.
When the accused terrorist stabbed him in the neck.
Okay, well, there's a few details to fill in. How the terrorist get to his home, why they just stabbed him and not the kid. I'm sure they'll get to all that in a second.
It makes me feel extremely sad for the family.
And here we've got not a witness, but just someone they need to read the script. He's staring at the script at the start, and he's back to it already, so his memory's not that good. And he's sad. He's sad for the family. Well, okay, so we've got everyone scared, and they're sad.
I think this is rather a bizarre and isolated incident.
And it's bizarre, and it's an isolated incident. In other words, be scared, but don't be too scared, because we want you to, just be able to continue to function and be debt slaves. And really, what have these 2 witnesses brought as far as information to the public goes? What they've said is pretty, you can work that out for yourself without them saying it. And if it was real, but it's not. So that's why they have them, to reinforce it. And they've provided no, someone ran across the street, I saw them, or I saw the knife. None of that. Just their particular individual feelings about it, which may or may not be. I mean, they're reading a script. So, but that's the feeling they want people to have about this incident. So that's part of the psyop right there.
The homeowner stumbled outside calling for help after allegedly disarming the 24-year-old student of a large kitchen knife.
And if you notice now how they're chopping and changing from mentioning bits of the story, going to a witness, then going back to the story, like they did with the current affair that I did the video on. And it's so that you kind of can't get continuity of what they're saying and then forming an overall picture, because when you do, it can look very, very stupid. So that how they, and this would be, this editing isn't just done ad hoc. It's done in consultation with psychologists, and definitely because it's a psyop. So you're just getting snippets of information, and it's hard to piece it together, because all they want to do is implant in your head there's been a terror attack, it's scary, a few other messages, and then move on to the next story, because it's a load of bullshit. And if they just showed it chronologically from start to go, people are going, well, hang on, he would have done that straight after that, or he would have done that straight after that, or where's this? And if you listen to what they've said, that he has been stabbed in the neck, okay, so you can draw a picture of that in your mind, and then I don't know if he's in bed, they don't mention that, they just said he was asleep, he could have been on a lounge, who knows, he's just asleep, he's been stabbed by this terrorist, this 24-year-old student. Need some more information there, but no doubt they'll break that up with more interviews before they give you that information. And they didn't. They said he's come outside to seek help, but they haven't mentioned his daughter. See, this is why they chop and change, because they mentioned his daughter, and now they're not mentioning it, and they put that break in between. See how they do it? So anyway, what happened to his daughter? What, did he leave her in there with the terrorist with the knife? He used to stumble outside himself. Did he bring his daughter out with him? They haven't mentioned any of that. They don't want you to think of it either.
We're all pretty a bit unnerved about it, yeah. The whole neighbourhood here is pretty upset about the whole thing.
And they've come back to Peter, who has done nothing more, hasn't given any extra information, no details about what actually happened, just more on how the neighbourhood's feeling. What, does he know that? Did he go and survey people? He can speak for himself, but now he's speaking for the whole neighbourhood. He's just reading the script. And it breaks up how they present the story, so you can't get continuity and tie things together that might contradict or not look right. Okay.
Bangladeshi Momina Shoma has been charged with 1 count of engaging in a terrorist act. She was arrested wearing a black burqa after arriving in the country 10 days ago on a student visa.
Okay, we got to see ISIS, got to see his face, and Jimmy, obviously, although it's a terror when you don't have terror, and just bring in the laws. And the people that got arrested for the Etihad, they were just under blankets. So now they've decided to just do this drawing of this terrorist. Doesn't even, could any person look like that? This is there, obviously. I don't know if this is the police have got them. They got a photo of them. They don't need to draw them. So this must be the artist's impression of what they look like. Now, did they see them and draw this, or are they just guessing? Because if they've seen them, could they have? If they were allowed to see them, then surely they'd be allowed to photograph it. Well, why is this person's identity being hidden? Or their face anyway? That's because it's a fake, a phony fake show, as Anna kind of likes to call them. So that's all we get to see. Now we've got some more information in there. So she's Bangladeshi, and she's wearing a burqa. Burqa. Oh, well, there you go. And she's already heard she's ISIS inspired, so we know which religion they're going after there. And also, she's been in the country for 10 days. But they haven't mentioned how she got into this nurse's house and stabbed him while his 5-year-old daughter was there.
She'd only moved into the house to board with the family on Wednesday.
Okay, so she's only been there for a day or two. She moved in to board with the family. So presumably, this nurse rents out a room in his house to people from overseas who he doesn't know, while his 5-year-old daughter is living with him. Okay, look, that's his choice. It's quite a nice house. Nurse, I thought, would pay her right, but obviously he needs the money pretty desperately that he's renting it out to overseas nationals while his 5-year-old daughter's there, but that's his choice. There's nothing suspicious about this, though.
Will allege that the incident was stand-alone, Islamic State inspired, and designed to cause harm to the community.
And here we have another Victorian cop wheeled out, go and talk absolute bullshit. See, I think after Midtoe, the New South Wales cops might have, a few, maybe just enough of them thought, no, that was a load of shit, and caused enough ripples that New South Wales police went, hierarchy, Mick Fuller, he'd love to host some of this stuff, but I think maybe the cops in New South Wales the police association thought, no, you're discrediting us, we're looking like fools. Whereas Victorian police, they don't have that problem. They can, they're total sellouts. I mean, what other explanation is there that every single event, gangland, whatever, is all in Victoria? Surely, there's Muslims in, because they're supposedly the terrorists. Not that I'm saying they are, but these guys say they are. Say that there's populations in South Australia, New South Wales, Tasmania, every single state, there's an Islamic population. Yeah, only in Victoria. It's only the Muslims in Victoria. And the Bangladeshi student, she could have got anywhere. But no, she went to study in Victoria. They haven't mentioned where she's studying. Anyway, so this is just, I'm convinced that Victoria Police and the hierarchy have just gone, we're up for, we can be bought, whatever you want us to do, we'll do it. And this guy's part of it. And obviously, most likely his lies are that it was ISIS-inspired terror. And even it's obvious when he says it was designed to cause maximum damage or damage to the community. Well, it was damage to one guy. This isn't damage to the community. Wouldn't she have come out and tried to stab someone else? What happened to her after she stabbed him and he come outside and got help? Where did she go? Did she run away?
The bleeding man was rushed to hospital, his little girl uninjured.
Okay, they're breezy going for a lot of detail to package this thing up. And just, there's the terror message. Don't ask any more questions. Well, hang on. So he's been rushed to hospital. Okay, called 000. Was 000 called? Can we get if we go to 000 records, will they have a record that they were called? Or was it Ambo driver passed? I don't know. He got rushed to hospital. Who rang him? One of the neighbours? Was it Peter? Was it the other guy? Can we speak to the guy that rang 000? All these details, because they're not saying Peter and the other doofus rang. They're just talking about the neighbourhood. They would have said, I saw him come out with blood and then I rang. Can we speak to those people? Well, no, because they don't exist. Nobody called. Nobody called the ambulance because it didn't happen. It's just a made-up story. Is it evident to you now? And the girl, oh yeah, and she was unharmed. Well, she was left inside. Did anyone race inside? Were there any heroes like they were in Minto that ran in to make sure the little girl was okay? Yeah, no, we're just packaging it all up, breaking the story up so you can't really follow that. Don't ask any questions.
Residents say he'd hosted other international students in the past and was the perfect neighbour.
Oh, so he regularly hosts overseas students, even though he's got a 5-year-old daughter. Would have been younger then, 4-year-old, 3-year-old. He's pretty sure they're okay. Just strangers from overseas. That she'd only moved in the Wednesday before, so I don't know how he met her or assessed her as being. And he was wrong, obviously, because he got stabbed. The picture they're trying to paint here, the story, the script writers, you guys, you got to start getting it together because there's a lot of holes in this, and this was a relatively simple one, and there's still a lot of holes. Oh, and no mention of the nurse's partner. Presumably, it's only the nurse and his daughter in the house, so they don't explain what happened there. Where's the mum? What's going on there? Just a guy, living in suburbia with his 5-year-old daughter, having she and his wife. Is his wife okay with him renting out rooms to perfect strangers? What if his daughter had been stabbed instead of him? Because it's a terrorist attack. Out to commit terror in any way they can. It's ISIS-inspired. They kill kids.
We find him very open and very giving, and certainly he was always there for us, and a very open, welcoming family.
And of course, let's just switch back to someone else to distract you from what they've just said, so you don't try and piece it all together. Back to this idiot, and he's see how much he read. He was looking more at the script than he was at the interviewer. That's how bad this guy is at he can't remember anything. He's a bad actor to have there, or local that wanted to get on telly, whichever it is. And his message was, they're a good family.
Police allege it was a lone wolf-style attack with no further threat to the community.
We're back to this drawing, which I'm sure looks a lot like her. They drawn a beard on her? Is that just meant to be shadow? Look at the ears protruding through the hair. Why is she wearing a green top? I thought she was in a burqa. They could have just drawn a burqa. Anyway, it's a lone wolf attack. Oh, yeah. They love a good lone wolf attack. They're very scary.
We're confident at this stage that this person acted alone, and it was an inspired attack by a person that had become self-radicalised over a period of time.
And back to another sellout Victorian cop. And you can tell he's lying. See how hesitant he is as he said all that garbage. But, they're Victorian police. I'm sorry, but they're just They're just total sellouts to the system, aren't they? Whoever's running this garbage coming through from Turnbull and further afield than him, out of the country. But Victoria, put their hands up. We'll do it. They got those idiot cops. Remember those colour-coded cops fucking staging runs across the street for the cameras, and everything happens in Victoria. Because Milo went to quite a few different states, Perth, New South Wales, Brisbane, but they didn't stage that run across the street. Only Victorian cops did. I'm really getting sick of Victorian cops. They're getting themselves a bad name going along with all this garbage. Okay, well, she's been in the country for 10 days. So over what period is he saying she got radicalised? Over an extended period, he said. So that would assume that she was becoming radicalised before she came to Australia. Well, how did she get in the country? What about all these billions on surveillance and vetting of people? So how does he know that she was... How did he get the information that she had been radicalised overseas if the people that were doing checks and visa checks didn't find that information? How come he suddenly got... How did he get access to it? Just another little hole, another little gap that the script writers have slipped up on. Yeah, and it just goes to show that it's just bullshit. And this guy he doesn't mind lying. He's fine with it. He'll collect his money.
Detectives spent the day gathering evidence at the Mill Park property, as well as executing another warrant at a Bundoora home where Mamina Shomer had previously stayed just days earlier.
She's only been in the country 10 days and already she's lived in 2 separate places. What happened to the place at Bundoora? Did she try and stab someone? They kicked her out. And the cops are going back. Obviously didn't clear everything out because the cops have gone back there with a warrant. So did she get all her stuff? Is she actually living here? Where is she living? According to this guy, she's moved. This is her second address. She's living at this house, but she did live at Bundoora, but she still has possessions there. Can anyone follow this bullshit? God, it's garbage.
Witnesses described the alleged attacker as diminutive, standing barely 150 centimetres in height.
Okay, so there are witnesses. Witnesses, suppose you didn't say to the attack, just witnesses that described her. Well, what did they witness? Did they witness him running out? Did they witness her? What were her actions after she stabbed him? They're just breezing over a lot, aren't they? Did she stay at the house, wait to be arrested? She's a terrorist. Did she try and stab someone else? Because if she stabbed him, they presumably just sat down and waited to be arrested. Well, did she go outside and try and finish the job? Like, he disarmed her. She could have grabbed another knife. Did he disarm? No, he's come outside bleeding. So did she get subdued? Was she in the house with the 5-year-old? There's witnesses. Can we hear from them to fill in all those details? Well, no, because he's just fucking lying to us. There are no witnesses. Nothing happened. And here's the blood-stained chair to show the public, to show that it was a real attack. And look at that blood. It's always scary when you see blood. And it's good the chair was white, conveniently. So it really shows up the blood. So how did the blood get on this chair? Was he sleeping in it when he got stabbed? Because it's not a very comfortable chair. Presumably there's beds in there. Or was it outside and they sat him down until the ambulance arrived to rush him to hospital? In which case, weren't they trying to stem the blood before they sat him down? Like, how did all this blood get on his chair? All I know is it looks very scary. Look, there's even blood runs right down the base at on the back part there in the middle, and another blood run at the front.
Mamina Shomer made no application for bail and required treatment for a cut hand. Her motive yet to be determined.
What do they mean, the motive yet to be determined? They've just spent the whole story telling us it's a terror. The motivation is terror. That's what they've just told us. They specifically said she was inspired by ISIS and had been radicalised over a period of time. Well, what do they mean? We don't know what a motivation is. You've just told us what it is. It's to cause harm to the community. That's what he said. So why are they looking for a motive? I thought they already had a motive. Who the hell wrote this script? Again, they're chopping and changing so people don't remember that the guy had just explained what the motive was before they then say, oh, yeah, we've got to try and find out what the motive is.
The investigation of the matter highlights that the threat in relation to terrorism in Australia is real and it's ongoing.
What? Now they're saying the investigation highlights, well, we don't know what the motivation is, but it highlights that terror is real and ongoing in Australia. But he just said they don't know what the motivation is. Oh, God. But that's, and the reason why he said that is, look, what they're thinking to themselves is, look, Australians are pretty fucking stupid. And even though we've given all these hints, we've had these witnesses, not witnesses, sorry, neighbours, they didn't show us the witnesses to give us the dramatic details of what happened, because they want to leave all that out, because it could be poked holes straight through it if they try and put it up like they did with ISIS. But you can still poke holes through the garbage anyway when they try and just breeze over everything. But yeah, they said, listen, just get up there and get a cop to say, and just read the script. The terror is real and ongoing, Australia. It is real and ongoing. Terror, real and ongoing. Repeat, terror, real and ongoing. God.
Right, let's go live now to Dougal Beattie, who's outside the Royal Melbourne Hospital.
Okay, they're crossing over to their reporter. They've got terror accused at the bottom. The police just said terror is real and ongoing. And they're going over to Dougal. He's outside the Melbourne Hospital. Why? I don't know, but no one's in there. It's been attacked by a terrorist. Oh, probably some sick people in there, I guess. It's just not anyone related to this story. But Dougal's over there. All right, Dougal, let's give us your load of bullshit.
Dougal, what has the family had to say?
Well, Alicia, a short time ago, the family did release a statement. In it, they thanked emergency services and their neighbours for their kindness and support.
Oh, so he's got family, not just his 5-year-old daughter. Or maybe she's the one that's telling us. Oh, he's got family. They've issued a statement. Why are they on the TV? They could be, you know, cheerily, like what happened with Wayne Greenall with his daughters on TV acting like idiots. They could have got the family on to tell us. Why are you reading it, Dougal? That's because there is no family. There is no story to tell. So you just keep reading the bullshit, Dougal.
They also said their concentration now was on the welfare of their family and their recovery. Now, the injured man underwent surgery here at the Royal Melbourne Hospital this morning for that single stab wound above the collarbone.
So he got stabbed once, and once only, above the collarbone. It's not much of a terror attack, is it? You would have thought, you know, she would have chased in the way ISIS chased Greenall. No, she didn't. She just stabbed him once. Suddenly he's woke up. How she didn't stab him more times as he's waking up, well, he's a very quick waker-upper, obviously, and he's disarmed her. But the collarbone's at the front of your body. So let's have a quick look at the chair again. He's been stabbed once and once only. And they've sat him down in the chair. Surely one stab wound would be easier to try and stop the bleeding on, or at least lessen it. Somehow he's been stabbed once in the front, but on the back of the chair and on the left side, and there's a bit down at the front there, but how did all that blood get at the back? Bearing in mind it's one stab wound just above his collarbone. How did all this blood get there? Oh, someone smeared it on there, and it's probably not blood. Question answered. Thanks, Dougal. You're really helping out.
His prognosis is good, his injuries aren't considered life-threatening, and he's now in a stable condition. Now, as for his 5-year-old daughter, who witnessed this alleged act of terrorism, she's now in the care of her mother.
Oh, so she does have a mother. Okay, so filling in the details here, obviously the mother doesn't live with the girl and the dad because she would have been involved in a fracas, or she wasn't home. They don't mention the mother. Maybe she does live there. Who knows? But anyway, it's all packaged up neatly now. He's not life-threatening injuries. And again, he said alleged. She witnessed an alleged terror attack. They've said alleged all the way through it. They always say that because it's a news story. And that way they can get out of being called liars, even though they are lying. We only said alleged. We didn't say it was terror. So that's the end of the bulletin there, but here's some online stuff. There he is. That's a picture of him. His name's Roger something or other. Now, is Tracy going to be doing a current affair full episode story on this guy and how he survived the way they did with Wayne Greenall? So it's an identical situation, except the terrorist was actually in the house and living with him. Been in there for only a day or two, but she stabbed him. Let's just see if that happens. And there's the bottom part of that article where they don't say too much either, as they didn't say in the bulletin. But she was arrested at the scene. They didn't say whether she tried to fled, whether she just went willingly. Bearing in mind she's a crazed terrorist, ISIS-inspired. And she's, just stabbed someone. Only the one time, though. Just stabbed him once, and that was it, and he's perfectly okay. Well, he's got to be. He's in a satisfactory condition. And so that's it, Australia. The terror is real and ongoing. The terror threat from what they say, a diminutive 150 centimetre tall woman. And it's every couple of weeks we'll be getting stuff like this. Maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. They might let it go. They've got to keep this stuff in the news just so we know that it's ongoing and real. Otherwise, you might start to go, gee, do we still need those laws? We haven't had terror for quite a while. I know we do. We do. I just turned it on news the other day. Could you make sense of it? Yeah, the police told me that it was ongoing and real. And I saw a couple of neighbours and they mentioned something about a stabbing. And I saw a chair with blood on it. So it is ongoing and real. That's what they want you to think. Okay, I've had enough of this. God, this one's a long one. Should have been a lot shorter because it's a pretty bloody poor effort by the script writers putting this together. Righto.